Welcome to the CISO Daily Update.
Car rental company Avis discloses a data breach. Avis disclosed a data breach involving one of its business applications, which compromised their customers' personal information. The breach occurred between August 3rd to 6th, 2024, but was discovered on August 14th. Avis addressed the unauthorized access and launched an investigation with cybersecurity experts. The company has advised impacted customers to monitor their account statements and credit reports for any signs of fraud and is offering a free 1-year Equifax credit monitoring service as a precaution. Details on the number of affected customers were not disclosed. Exposed. Russian military unit 29155 does digital sabotage, espionage. The U.S. Department of Justice identified 5 Russian hackers from GRU's Unit 29155, accusing them of involvement in the 2022 Whispergate malware attacks targeting Ukraine and NATO allies. Unit 29155 focuses on sabotaging infrastructure and conducting espionage against governments and critical sectors like energy and healthcare. The group employs common cyber tools and techniques and often leverages publicly available resources, which complicates attribution. U.S. authorities are offering a reward for information on these actors and have outlined defensive measures to mitigate future attacks. Lowe's home warehouse employees targeted in Google ad Phish. A phishing campaign targeting Lowe's employees with fake Google ads mimicking their employee portal, My Lowe's Life, was discovered. The ads directed workers to a fraudulent login page designed to steal credentials, which were then likely sold on the dark web. Cybercriminals used AI-generated templates and URLs resembling the real portal to avoid detection. Malwarebytes detected the campaigns and warned users to avoid clicking on sponsored search results and instead navigate to official sites directly or use bookmarks. Google has since removed the malicious ads. Sextortion scam now use your cheating spouse's name as a lure. A new sextortion scam is targeting individuals by claiming their spouse is cheating, using their names or personal information like second last names or pet names to make the emails appear legitimate. These emails suggest the sender has hacked the spouse's devices and offer supposed proof of infidelity, often linking to malware or phishing sites. First reported on Reddit, recipients have expressed concern over how scammers obtained their personal information, with some suspecting it was scraped from wedding planning sites. Authorities recommend deleting these emails as they are part of a widespread scam. New Rambo attack steals data using RAM in air-gapped computers. The newly discovered Rambo attack exploits electromagnetic radiation emitted by a computer's RAM to steal data from air-gapped systems. These systems, isolated from networks for security, can be compromised through malware introduced by rogue employees or state actors. Rambo works by manipulating the memory bus to generate electromagnetic signals, which are then intercepted by an antenna. The attack has a transfer rate of 1,000 bits per second and can exfiltrate small data traffic like passwords or keystrokes within a range of up to 7 meters. Mitigation strategies include physical zone restrictions, RAM and EM jamming, and Faraday enclosures. New malware shakes macOS security paradigm, hackers eyeing iPhones next. A new macOS malware, Atomic macOS Stealer, is targeting sensitive data like crypto wallets, passwords, and session tokens. Since its emergence in April 2023, Amos has grown in popularity, leading its price to triple. Hackers are using tactics like search results poisoning and malvertising to spread the malware, often disguising it as legitimate apps like Notion or Slack. Amos also evades detection by obfuscating its code and leveraging Python scripts. Its creators claim to have developed an iOS variant, potentially exploiting Apple's future Digital Markets Act compliance. West Virginia law enforcement sues data broker for publishing personal information online. A retired West Virginia police officer filed a class action lawsuit against data broker White Pages for allegedly violating the state's 2021 Daniels Law by publishing personal information of law enforcement officers without consent. The law is similar to a New Jersey statute enacted after a federal judge's son was murdered and prohibits disclosing personal data of law enforcement, judges, and prosecutors when it could lead to harassment or harm. The lawsuit follows growing efforts across states like Maryland to protect public servants' privacy amid increasing concerns about data brokers and the exposure of sensitive information online. U.S. CISA adds Draytek VigorConnect and Kingsoft PS Office bugs to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. CISA added vulnerabilities in Draytek VigorConnect and Kingsoft PS Office to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. These include path traversal issues in Draytek VigorConnect CVE 2021, 201, 23, and 24 that allow attackers to download system files with root privileges, and a flaw in Kingsoft WPS Office CVE 2024, 7262 that lets attackers load malicious Windows libraries. The vulnerabilities are being actively exploited, particularly in East Asia by APTC 60. Federal agencies must address these flaws by September 24, 2024, per CISA's directive, with private organizations also urged to review and mitigate the risks. A flaw in WordPress LiteSpeed cache plugin allows account takeover. A critical flaw in the WordPress LiteSpeed cache plugin, tracked as CVE 2024-44000, allows unauthenticated attackers to take over user accounts by exploiting an HTTP response header leak. This vulnerability affects versions up to 6.4.1 and exposes sensitive session data, including cookies, via a debug log file, enabling attackers to log in as valid users and potentially escalate privileges to the administrator level. The issue is only exploitable if WordPress debugging is enabled. The flaw was patched in version 6.5.0.1, and users are urged to update, purge old logs, and implement HT access rules to prevent access to sensitive log files. SonicWall warns that SonicOS bug exploited in attacks. SonicWall issued a warning regarding the active exploitation of a critical access control vulnerability in SonicOS, tracked as CVE 2024-40766. This flaw affects various SonicWall firewall devices, including Gen 5, 6, and 7 models, and could lead to unauthorized resource access or cause firewalls to crash. The vulnerability is being exploited in the wild, and SonicWall strongly urges users to apply the latest patches. As a precaution, SonicWall recommends limiting management access to trusted sources and enabling multi-factor authentication for SSL VPN users on impacted devices. CISA flags ICS bugs in Baxter Mitsubishi products. CISA has flagged critical vulnerabilities in industrial control systems used in healthcare and manufacturing sectors, impacting Baxter's Connex Health Portal and Mitsubishi Electric's Melsec controllers. Baxter's vulnerabilities include a CVE 2024-6795 SQL injection flaw and a CVE 2024-6796 improper access control flaw, both remotely exploitable with low attack complexity. Mitsubishi's issues involve denial of service vulnerabilities, including CVE 2020-5652 and CVE 2022-33324. CISA advises applying patches, minimizing network exposure, and using firewalls and secure remote access to mitigate risks. No active exploitations have been reported yet. Apache OFBiz team patches critical RCE vulnerability. The Apache OFBiz team patched a critical remote code execution vulnerability, CVE 2024-45195, marking the fourth such update in 5 months. The flaw is in versions before v18.12.16 and allows unauthenticated attackers to execute arbitrary code on affected systems. The vulnerability stems from insufficient authorization checks and builds on previous, inadequately patched flaws. Researchers demonstrated that they could exploit this to dump sensitive data and achieve remote code execution. The update also addresses CVE 2024-45507, a server-side request forgery vulnerability. Users are urged to update immediately. Veeam Security Bulletin fixes critical vulnerabilities for backup and replication, Veeam 1 and more. Veeam's latest security bulletin addresses multiple critical vulnerabilities across several products, including Veeam Backup and Replication, Veeam 1, and Veeam Agent for Linux. Notable issues include remote code execution, CVE 2024-40711, CVE 2024-42024, and privilege escalation vulnerabilities, CVE 2024-40709, all with high CVSS scores. These vulnerabilities can impact the security and functionality of Veeam's solutions, and updates are available to fix these flaws in new versions of the affected products. Users are urged to apply these updates to mitigate potential threats. GeoServer vulnerability targeted by hackers to deliver backdoors and botnet malware. Hackers are exploiting a critical remote code execution vulnerability, CVE 2024-36401, CVSS 9.8 in OSGeo GeoServer GeoTools to deliver botnet malware, backdoors like Sidewalk, and cryptocurrency miners. Detected in July 2024, the flaw allows attackers to gain control of vulnerable systems, with incidents targeting IT, government, and telecom sectors in multiple countries. Notably, Chinese APT41 uses the flaw to deploy Sidewalk, a Linux backdoor. Attackers also use tools like fast reverse proxy to maintain encrypted access. The vulnerability has been added to CISA's known exploited vulnerabilities catalog due to active exploitation. 83% of organizations experienced at least one ransomware attack in the last year. A recent Onapsis report reveals that 83% of organizations experienced at least one ransomware attack in the past year, with 61% resulting in over 24 hours of downtime. Notably, 89% of those attacks affected critical enterprise resource planning systems. Growing concerns around AI-enhanced threats are driving companies to prioritize ERP security, with 96% of organizations adjusting their security strategies. Investments include new solutions, employee training, and additional staff. Companies remain divided on ransom payments, with 34% always paying, 21% paying sometimes, and 45% never paying.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter at CISOheadlines.com. Until next time, stay curious.